In this lecture, you will learn what RAG is, why we need it, and how it works. RAG stands for Retrieval-Augmented Generation. We need it mainly in two scenarios. The first scenario is where we have a large language model that is trained on outdated data, but we now have a question or prompt on the latest data. For the LLM to answer this prompt correctly or to generate a response correctly, we need to provide it the latest data that is available out there. That is the first scenario. And the second scenario is where we want to use our own data or our company data which the LLM is not aware of. In either of these two scenarios, we need to stuff this entire data, whether it is the latest data or the company data, into the prompt and then send it to the LLM. So the LLM will receive the prompt as well as this data so that it can answer correctly. But we can't stuff this entire data, which could be in gigabytes or terabytes, every time the prompt comes in. That is not an effective way of doing it. That is where RAG comes in. RAG will allow us to retrieve the relevant data to the current prompt and send in that data to the LLM along with the prompt. So this entire data on hand, the latest data or the company data, will be stored in a database or a vector store. And when the prompt comes in from the user, only the relevant data for that prompt will be retrieved from this entire data. It will be stuffed into the prompt and then sent to the LLM. The LLM will use this relevant data as the context, look at the prompt, and then provide an appropriate response. That is RAG at a high level. Let's look at the low level process. This is how RAG works internally. When we have the latest data or the company's data, it could be a single document or multiple documents, we'll divide this document into chunks. That's the very first step in RAG process. We then calculate the embeddings for each of these chunks and store these embeddings and the chunks in a vector store. So this vector store will have the embeddings as the metadata and the chunk itself as the data in them. And then when we receive a prompt from the user, we'll use the embedding model to calculate the embedding for that prompt. We then use that embedding to retrieve the relevant data from the vector store, stuff that relevant data along with the prompt and send it to the LLM so that it can respond back correctly. It's that simple. All this will happen internally. When you work with LangChain, it makes your job super easy. Even to use a vector store like Chroma with LangChain is very easy. So that process again, whatever data we have, whether it is the latest data that the LLM is not aware of or your own company data, your personal data on which you want the user to query or prompt, you will take that data. That data will be broken into chunks. The embeddings will be calculated for each of those chunks. That embedding and the chunk will be stored in this vector store. Then when a prompt comes in, the embedding for that prompt will be calculated and all the relevant embeddings in the vector store for that embedding will be retrieved and that data will be sent along with the prompt to the LLM. So these chunks which are stored along with these embeddings are available in the vector store. So that chunk which is relevant to the prompt will be retrieved, stuffed and sent to the LLM. LLM will use that relevant data, look at the prompt, generate the appropriate response from that data, send it back to the user. This entire process will be made easy by LangChain for you in the next few lectures.